Hey, Math 10 class, it's Mr. Lum again, and we're going to be continuing our financial literacy unit, and we're going to be looking at alternative ways to earn money. So last time we looked at dollars and getting paid dollars per hour, and now we're going to be looking at some different ways that you can earn money. So first one is being self-employed, and the term self-employed is a person who works for themselves rather than for an employer. So for something like that, you might be like a website designer. A person who is a website designer will work their own hours, and they will um, be self-employed. That means they don't have to report to a boss. They don't have to submit hours. But there's some cons to it too. It means that they have to do everything for themselves. That means they have to advertise for themselves. They have to put themselves out there. They have to find clients and all that kind of stuff. So everything you have to do yourself. That's what self-employed is. So not just one job. Now, for piecework is when someone is paid a set amount for an amount worked. So, for example, a tree planter is someone who's paid in piecework. They are paid a set amount for one tree planted. So, usually it's like 10 cents or something like that for one tree planted. And another example of someone who works piecework is a fruit picker. They are paid a certain amount for how many kilos of fruit they pick. And that's a really big industry, especially around here. So that's all different types of piecework. Commission is payment usually as a percent paid to someone for a business sale. So people who work on commission will get paid a certain amount of based on a sale. So, for example, a very common one that works on commission is a real estate agent. They will sell a house and they will collect a percentage of what that house sold for. So, say if they sell a house for $100,000, right? Then they will collect maybe 3% of that. So they'll get $3,000. And then the person who sold that house will get that $97,000 left over. So that would be an example of someone who gets paid by commission. Another one who gets paid by commission is car salesperson. They will get paid commission if they sell a car. I'm not sure what they get, but they'll get a certain percentage of what that car sells for, and that is what that's how they make their money. Some people will get paid if they sell shoes. They will get a certain amount for part of to supplement their wage. They get a certain amount of the sales of the shoe that they sell as part of their payment. Now, a contract is a legal agreement that outlines terms and conditions and payment for work to be done. So you might hire someone to put in new floors at your house. They'll come over, they'll take a look at it, and then they'll say, I want $5,000 to put in new floors into your house. Then you can say you agree to that. So that means once they put in new floors, you are legally required to pay them that $5,000. You have a legal contract or a legal agreement. Now, a salary is a wage paid regularly for work done. So it could So if someone is being paid a salary, and usually people who are paid salaries are someone who is a manager position. So, for example, if you're a manager for a certain company, they don't want to pay you an hour, they will pay you a salary. So, what that means is that the idea is that there might be some times when the work that is going to be done will be quite quick and it doesn't take that person very much time at all. And there's going to be other times when that person has to work a lot. But no matter what, if they work just a little bit or they work a lot, they get paid the same amount. They get paid the same amount every month for the work that is done. Even if, say, January, there's not very much work, and February, there's tons and tons of work for the manager, they will get paid the same amount for January and February. So that's what a salary is. You cannot get overtime for if you're working a salary. So even if you work a lot of hours. Okay. So that's what a salary is. And these are some different ways of getting paid other than dollars per hour. So now we're going to take a look at some calculations and how to do it. So a lot of it is just kind of intuitive, but we're going to go over it. And if you think you can do it, try doing these notes by yourself, and you can check your work, or you can see just how I do it. So here we have one. It says Wyatt works as a tree planter and during the summer, and he earns as an income through piecework. He is paid $2.50 for each seedling he plants. If he plants 45 seedlings in a day, how much will he earn? Okay, so this right here is kind of like our unit conversion. So what he's paid is he is paid $2.50 per one plant. Okay. And so if we multiply this by how many plants he plants, so 45, plants cancels out, and then we're just left with the dollars amount. So I'm just going to take my calculator. I'm going to go $2.50 times 45, and he earned $112.50. Okay. Now the next one, it says Casey works as a flower arranger, and she is paid $143.75 for making 25 identical flower arrangements for a wedding. How much was she paid per arrangement? So this is the same thing. This person is also paid through piecework, but through flower arrangements. And so what we want to know is the rate times the amount equals the dollars paid. Okay. So what we want to know is we want to know what her rate was. So we have the rate times the amount that she did. So she did 25 arrangements and she made $143.75. So if I take this and divide both sides by 25, so divide by 25 and divide by 25, this cancels out. So I'm going to take then we'll have rate equals 143.75 over 25. And therefore our rate equals, I'm going to take my calculator and go 143.75 divided by 25 equals 5.75. So she gets $5.75 per arrangement. Okay. Lori is a self-employed hairstylist. So she doesn't have an employer. She doesn't have a boss or anything. She offers haircuts for $24 each. She sells shampoo to her customers at an average markup of 50%. how much does Lori earn on a day in which she does 9 haircuts and sells $33 worth of shampoo? So first off, we're just going to do, she does the piecework for the haircuts. So she does 9 haircuts at $24 each. So we're going to go $24, okay, per cut, per one cut. And in this one day, she does 9 haircuts. So I'm going to times by 9 cuts, and cuts cancels out. So 9 times 24. Do that on my calculator. 9 times 24 equals, I get 216. $216. Okay, that's how much she made from the haircuts. Now, this next one right here is that we want to know how much she makes from selling shampoo. So she sells $33 worth of shampoo. Now, I didn't really teach this before, but this is kind of the business sense that you're going to have to kind of come up and figure some stuff out. But it's going to be, we have a 50% markup. So that means the number is going to be increased 50% what she sells it for. So it's going to be what she sells is going to be equal to the cost of the item. So Lori has to buy the item herself. So cost times the markup. Oops, what am I writing? I'll say percentage. Okay. So now we don't have how much she earns here, and I'm going to show you in a second. So she sells $33 worth of shampoo. Okay. We don't know exactly how much she paid for the shampoo itself. So we're just going to leave that blank. But she knows that the markup is 50%. Okay. So in other words, she's not going to sell it at a 50% discount. She's going to go up by 50%. So in other words, she's going to sell it for the cost. So 1 times 50%. So 1.5 times. Okay. And we want to find out what that cost is. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1.5. And so then I get the cost. So I go 33 divided by 1.5 equals, so the cost equals $22. Okay. So if the cost is $22, that's how much she bought the shampoo for. She sells it for 33. How much did she make? Well, she made $11. Okay. Because that's the difference between the cost and what she sold it for. So her profit is $11. So how much did she make total? She made $227. Okay. So this next question right here says, Scott works in a store that sells furniture. Scott works on commission at a rate of 6.5%. So like we talked about the vocab, he does commission. So if he sells $9,865 worth of furniture last week, how much does he earn? So what we have to do is when we have a commission question, and commission is often given as a percentage. So here it is as a percent. You have to change this into a decimal. So if you don't know how to change 6.5% into a decimal, it's quite easy. You just take 6.5 and then divide by 100. So 6.5 divided by 100 equals 0.065. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that $9,865 and times it by our commission rate, which is 6%, or in other words, 0.065. And that will equal, so we go 9,865 times 0.065. That equals 641. $641 and $22.50. Now you can't really get paid in a half cent, so this will probably round to $641.20, since it's five. This five is above halfway. Well, 23 cents. And it was how much Scott made on his furniture sales. Okay, next question right here. Oops, that kind of followed me. Okay. Another place that pays on commission is Sport Check. Russell works as a sales clerk at Sport Check. He earns a base salary of $8.50 an hour plus 15% commission on the price before taxes. So usually they pay like commission if you sell some shoes or something like that, or maybe some golf clubs or whatever. His workday is 8 hours. One day, Russell sells merchandise worth $274.57. How much does he earn that day? So, first off, he gets paid an hourly wage. So we're going to calculate that because it's nice and easy. So we're going to go $8.50 per hour, per 1 hour, times by our hours. So we're going to go 8 times 850. So 8 times 8.5 equals, get $68. 0 cents. Okay, so that's how much he makes for his base salary. In other words, his hourly wage. Okay, but on top of that, he also gets a commission. So he sold 274.57, so $274.57 worth of stuff, and he gets a 15% commission. So 15 divided by 100, 0.15. Okay, so we're typing our calculator, 274.57 times 0.15 equals, and we get $41 and 1855, or in other words, 19 cents. We add this to our base salary of 68. So in other words, we're adding these two numbers up, and we get $109.19. I did do some rounding right here with that decimal place right there. So that would be his total days earning. Okay. Now here's a little bit different question for number 6. It says Megan earned $416 of commission on her sales of this. What was her rate? Okay, so we kind of have like a little bit of a formula right here, and that says sales times the percentage will equal essentially the money earned, or their wage. Okay, so we know what the sales are. So I'm going to write that number in, $9,234. We don't know what this percentage is. We know how much money she earned, for 16.03. So we want to find out what is her commission rate, or that percentage. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9,234. If I do that to one side, I must do it to the other. So 9,234. So then I get a percentage that's equal to 416.03. Okay. So this is what I just wrote over there. So this cancels out. And then I find out the percentage. So I go 416.03 divided by 9,234. equals, now I get a number that says 0.04505. Now that doesn't look like our last commission sales, but remember this one up here, we had to divide by 100. So to get the percentage, we now have to times this by 100. So I times this by 100, and so I get 4.505%, or probably just something like 4.5%. So if you wrote 4.5%, that's also fine. Okay. So that is her commission rate for that one right there. So what I would like you to do is I want you to try and do these last two questions yourself. They're a little bit tricky, okay? And but I want you to try to do them and see what you come up with. If you have questions, if you're not sure if you got it right, send me a message and I can try to help you out. And if you just completely don't understand, also send me a message, and then we can start a class through Microsoft Teams, and I can try to teach you these last two right here. Okay?